Everyone on YouTube keeps saying AI dropshipping is easier than ever. AI finds the products, AI builds the store, AI creates the ads, and apparently all you have to do is sit back and collect the money. But if it really was that easy, everyone would already be rich. So I decided to test it for myself. I gave myself 24 hours, a budget of just $50, and one goal: get my first ever dropshipping sale using AI. The only problem, I've never done dropshipping before. I never run ads before, and I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. So this is what happened. To keep things fair, I gave myself 3 rules. Rule number 1, I only have 24 hours. Rule number 2, I can't spend more than $50. And rule number 3, I have to use AI for as much of the process as possible. If AI dropshipping is really as easy as everyone claims, this should be simple, right? The first step was finding something to sell, which sounds easy until you've never done it before. Because when you're a beginner, every product looks like a winning product. So instead of trusting my instincts, which were probably terrible, I decided to let AI do most of the thinking. This is where a website called Copyfy came in play. One of the things I liked was that it wasn't just generating random product ideas. It was actually showing me products that other stores were already selling, along with competitor stores, traffic data, pricing information, and active products. Honestly, if I had to do product research manually, I probably would have spent the entire challenge just trying to decide what to sell. After digging through a bunch of products, one product stood out: the Electric Flame Water Blaster. It's basically a rechargeable water gun with a flame-like shooting effect. It looked unique, it looked fun, and most importantly, it looked like something people might impulse buy after seeing it for 3 seconds on TikTok. I found suppliers selling it for around €7, which gave me enough room for a decent markup. So I decided to build the entire challenge around that product. Now came the part that I was most nervous about: building the actual store. I barely touched Shopify before. I didn't know how themes worked, I didn't know how shipping worked, I didn't know how inventory worked, and honestly, this is the part where I expected to lose half the challenge. But surprisingly, it ended up being one of the easiest parts. Instead of building everything manually, I used Copify's AI store builder. I pasted in the product, clicked generate, and within a couple of minutes, it had already built an entire Shopify store for me. The product page, images, descriptions, layouts, pretty much everything. I was genuinely expecting to spend hours tweaking things, but there really wasn't much to change. Most of my time wasn't spent designing the store. It was spent fixing beginner mistakes. The product showed as sold out, shipping only worked in Slovakia, the store was password protected, and at one point I genuinely thought I had broken the entire website. So while AI made the store building process super fast, there was still a lot of things I had to figure out myself. Eventually though, after way too much trial and error, the store was finally ready. Or at least I thought it was. The next step was supposed to be simple: launch Facebook ads. This is where everything went completely off the rails. I had never used Meta ads before, and after spending hours trying to figure out Business Manager, pixels, pages, ad accounts, and whatever other confusing names Meta invents every year, I discovered that my Facebook account was restricted, so I had to switch accounts. But then another problem appeared, and then another, and another. Meta wouldn't let me create pages, certain accounts had restrictions, some ad accounts couldn't be created, and others couldn't be used. At one point, I genuinely spent more time fighting Meta than actually building the business. And that's something almost none of the dropshipping gurus talk about. Everyone shows the successful ad campaigns, but nobody shows the 3 hours spent trying to convince Meta that you're a real human being. So after wasting hours trying to get everything working, I gave up. I completely forgot about Facebook, and I moved over to TikTok. Since Meta basically refused to cooperate, I decided to launch my first ever TikTok ad instead. And honestly, the setup process was just so much easier. I created a TikTok account for the brand, and instead of hiring designers or spending hours editing using random assets, I used AI to generate the content for the ads. I turned the generated clips into a short video and posted it on TikTok. Then I used the exact same video as my advertisement. The ad got approved after around 30 minutes, and finally, after all the chaos, the challenge was officially live. And now came the hardest part: the waiting period. And honestly, those first few hours were quite stressful, because every time I checked the dashboard, all I saw was 0 sales. And that's when I started thinking, maybe everyone that's saying AI dropshipping is dead was right. Maybe I just wasted my money. And after around 16 hours of running the ads, here were the final results. Ad spend $20. Impressions 2,394. Clicks 67. Store sessions 77. TikTok video views over 3,100. And after 77 visitors, 67 clicks, and over 3,000 video views, I got exactly 0 sales. And yeah, that definitely wasn't the ending I was hoping for. After all the work, after all the meta headaches, I didn't get a single sale. But here's the interesting part. The biggest problem wasn't AI. The biggest problem wasn't even the product. The biggest problem was everything else. The gurus make it sound like AI builds the store, launches the ads, and just prints money. But that's not what happened. AI definitely helped and did its part. Copyfy helped me find a product. Copyfy built the store in minutes. AI helped create the content. Without those tools, I probably wouldn't have finished the challenge at all. What I realized is that AI lowers the barrier to entry, but it doesn't eliminate the learning curve. You still need to understand products, you still need to understand marketing, and you still need to understand advertising, especially if you're working with a tiny budget. So, can a complete beginner make money with AI dropshipping in 24 hours? Maybe, but based on my experience, it's a lot harder than YouTube makes it look. So if you're thinking about getting into dropshipping because some guru promised easy money, don't do it. At least not for that reason, because there is nothing easy about this. The AI tools were genuinely impressive, especially Copyfy. Finding products, analyzing competitors, building stores and generating creatives was probably the easiest part of the entire challenge. The hard part was everything that came after. Getting traffic, running ads, understanding platforms, and actually convincing people to buy. As for me, I just spent 24 hours getting humbled by Shopify, TikTok, Meta, and the whole internet. And honestly, I learned more from losing the $20 than I would have learned from watching another 100 dropshipping guru videos. If you want me to continue this challenge and see what happens after 7 days instead of 24 hours, let me know, because I have a feeling this experiment is far from over.